Hello, and I hope all is well for you today. And in this population-based series, we will be discussing anything from articles to news reports, potential conspiracy theories, and assessing population data. So if that's something you're interested in, hopefully you will enjoy this dialogue. And in this episode, we will be talking about population data. In this episode, we will be talking about the populations of Botswana and Barbados. According to the World Factbook, Botswana is located in southern Africa. According to the World Factbook, Barbados is an island country located in the Caribbean Sea. According to the World Factbook, Botswana is rich in natural resources such as diamonds, copper, nickel, salt, soda ash, potash, coal, iron ore, and silver. According to the World Factbook, Barbados is rich in natural resources such as petroleum, fish, natural gas. According to the World Atlas, natural resources in Barbados also include sugarcane, forests, livestock, limestone, clay, and shale. According to Ethnologue, there are 26 living indigenous languages in Botswana and 3 living non-indigenous languages. There is 1 living indigenous language in Barbados and 2 living non-indigenous languages. According to minorityrights.org, it states that there are 8 tribes in Botswana and 37 tribes that are not originally from Botswana. According to KnowBotswana.com, it states that there are 12 major ethnic groups in Botswana. So there are, according to these 2 different sources, between 8 to 12 tribes/major ethnic groups in Botswana. 92.4% of people in Barbados are black. 45% of women between the ages 15 through 49 in Botswana are currently married. 57.1% of women in Barbados, representing the ages 15 through 49, are currently married. 29.17% of people in Botswana are 0 to 14 years old. 64.88% 15 through 64 years old. 5.95% are 65 years and over. The majority of people in Botswana are between the ages of 15 through 64 years old. 16.78% of people in Barbados are 0 to 14 years old. 67.56% are 15 through 64 years old. 15.66% are 65 years and over. The majority of people in Barbados are between 15 through 64 years old. The median age of Botswana is 25.7 years old. The median age of Barbados is 39.5 years old. Botswana's growth rate is 1.76%. Barbados' growth rate is 0.16%. Botswana's population ranks 144. Barbados' population ranks 187. There is a net gain of 1 person every 11.8 minutes in Botswana. There is a net gain of 1 person every 1,440 minutes in Barbados. Gross reproduction rate, as per the World Factbook, states the average number of daughters born alive that a group of women would have in their lifetime if the age-specific fertility rate were to apply to them in a given period, usually a calendar year. It is a measure of replacement fertility that indicates whether the current generation of daughters will replace the preceding generation of women. If the number is equal to 1, the women will replace themselves. If the number is more than 1, the next generation of women will outnumber the current one. If the number is less than 1, the generation of women will be less numerous than the current one. The gross reproduction rate of Botswana is more than 1. The gross reproduction rate is 1.17, which means the next generation of daughters born in Botswana will replace the former generation of women in Botswana. The gross reproduction rate of Barbados is less than 1. The gross reproduction rate is 0.85, which means that the next generation of daughters born in Barbados will be less numerous than the generation of women before them. According to Worldometer, a total fertility rate represents the replacement level fertility. Replacement level fertility is the average number of children born per woman needed for each generation to replace itself without the need for international immigration. A value at 2.1 is a sustainable population. A value below 2.1 means that the population is in decline. A value above 2.1 is a sustainable population. The total fertility rate of Botswana is more than 2.1. The total fertility rate of Botswana is 2.7 births per woman, which means that the population of Botswana is sustainable. The total fertility rate of Barbados is less than 2.1. The total fertility rate is at 1.6 births per woman, which means that the population of Barbados will likely experience population decline. There is one birth every 8.73 minutes in Botswana. There is one birth every 180 minutes in Barbados. There are 165 births per day in Botswana. There are 8 births per day in Barbados. Now let us look at the 2023 current populations of Botswana and Barbados as per World Population Review. Botswana is at 2,681,958. Barbados is at 282,045. Let's look at the population forecast for the years 2030, 2040, and 2050. By 2030, Botswana's population is set to rise to 2,972,271. By 2040, Botswana's population is set to rise to 3,355,041. By 2050, Botswana's population is set to rise to 3,679,340. By 2030, Barbados' population is set to rise to 283,082. By 2040, Barbados' population is set to lower to 278,768. By 2050, Barbados' population is set to lower to 267,788. Well, that is all we have for today's episode, and I hope you enjoyed this discussion, where we looked at the populations of Botswana and Barbados. Thank you so much for listening, and stay tuned for more.